Do it.
It's time to breathe again on the latest breath of fresh air webcast, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So, as you can see, Patrick Brackett is here with me, Charles, to get down on all these topics. Got a lot to get to, so Patrick will get straight to them. And let's start with Major League Baseball. So, tonight, you have the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, and the season is at your halfway point. So, with that being said, let's look at some of these standings here. We'll start in the National League since the defending champions are in the National League.
Yeah.
So we got the New York Mets leading the National League East by 2.5 games over the aforementioned Atlanta Braves, and the Philadelphia Phillies are 8.5 back. In the NL Central, close race between the Milwaukee Brewers and St. Louis Cardinals. The Brewers have a half-game lead there. And in the West, the Dodgers with a 10-game lead on the Padres, 12.5 over the San Francisco Giants. And as it stands right now, your wild cards are Atlanta, San Diego, and Philadelphia. So, Patrick, just kind of looking at the standings here, is there anything that stands out to you more so than the others?
So there's a couple of things that stand out to me. One, who would have thought the Mets be on top right now? Whoa. I don't. Now, with that being said, don't get me wrong. They are playing some really good baseball. They're winning games. They're scrappy this year. This is like the first time I've seen the Mets this scrappy in recent history, dude. So I'm really impressed with the way they're playing.
I mean, what, they made the World Series in 2015? So it probably since then, right?
Oh yeah, and that was the first time I've ever seen them be that scrappy in that season. Since before that, so they pick their seasons, I guess. I really don't know, but what I can tell you is for them to be at the halfway point at 58-35, they're playing good baseball. I mean, they're playing really good baseball. I don't really foresee that maintaining, mostly because I just don't have that much faith in the Mets. But I mean, the Braves are starting to find their stride too, and with them being the defending World Series champs, they're going to want to have a say so somewhere in there. So I will say that I don't foresee the Mets staying on top, but if they do, hey, they're playing good ball. I will say that they're playing good ball. And then the other thing is the way Milwaukee and St. Louis is really running away with that division. I didn't think they were going to run away with it like that. I figured they would be somebody that would kind of maybe step in, but man, they are just absolutely demolishing teams in that division. So good for them to be at the halfway point where they're at. And then so San Diego is a good team. I know we both have the Dodgers winning that division. San Diego is one of mine. I think it was one of your wild card picks as well.
No, I had the Giants. I had the Giants, Cardinals, and Phillies for mine.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's. This is the one division where I do think that this is going to probably be the same during the second part of the season. Dodgers are just too good. But I will always say this. I have said this many times. There's 3 seasons during a baseball season. You have the first half, the second half, and then the playoffs. Braves, if anybody can point out that as a serious note, look at the Braves last year. So any team can catch fire come the second half. We're only halfway through this. That means only 50% has been done. So there is a lot of baseball to be played, and I do see a little bit more shifting and moving throughout the National League. So I don't think it's going to stay like this, but there's a couple of teams that you can almost just pretty much count out right at this point, because I just don't think they're going to be able to cover the spread at this point.
Yeah, I sat there and looked at these standings and the Mets. So you remember I said the Mets they were worthy of a look. Now I didn't necessarily think they were going to be winning the division at this point, but even last year the Mets started off hot and they cooled off. We'll see what happens going forward. But I figured they could be interesting if the lineup can come together and they could fix the bullpen. So I'm still good with the Braves winning the division, of course. I mean, that's what I picked at the beginning. So I think the Braves will overtake them. But hey, the Mets are definitely playing some good ball.
And on top of that, you look at that record, man, they're on track for what, 112 wins?
They can get close to that. I'd say probably close to 100.
I mean, there's a good possibility. There's a good possibility. But we also seen the Mets go winning. What was it? One year they won 56 in the first half, and then the next time they ended up 80, 88, and something. So I have seen some crazy things in baseball. But yeah, they're looking good.
And then in the Central, yeah, I mean, I figured it'd be between Milwaukee and St. Louis in there. I just didn't see the other teams really doing too much. The Cubs are kind of on a rebuild. Cincinnati, I didn't see them being this bad. But
not at all. They're injured and not playing well.
No, I didn't see them being as bad as they are. And then Pittsburgh, I mean, Pittsburgh has some young players that are starting to develop there. So, I mean, I was expecting them to compete this year, but maybe in the future there'll be something to look at. And then, yeah, in the West, yeah, it's just the Dodgers and everyone else, really. I mean, San Diego was there, and then the Dodgers caught one of those streaks, and now they have a pretty comfortable lead there. So, I guess looking forward, let's see. So you have San Diego. Now, San Diego's supposed to get Fernando Tatis Jr. back. So that will definitely be a boost to the lineup. And as it is, they are right there in the wild card. They have the second wild card. Other than that, I mean, yeah, you have St. Louis and San Francisco each right there, like a half a game. San Francisco's a half a game out. And St. Louis is actually tied with Philadelphia in the standings, but Philadelphia has them by 1 percentage point. So that's why they have the third spot. So I think it's pretty cut and dry in the National League because between St. Louis, San Francisco, and then the other 6, Dodgers, Mets, Brewers leading the division, Atlanta, San Diego, and Philadelphia in the wild cards. I think it'll pretty much be between those 8 teams, unless maybe the Marlins can catch them higher. I think it's pretty cut and dry in the National League who's going to be there. And I know people are going to say hey, it's the Dodgers and everybody else, but it's not. Number one, just looking at the Dodgers, we know the manager, Dave Roberts, is good for messing up the pitching rotation. So
if you don't believe me, go and watch the World Series last year.
He will pull starters early. Yeah, I mean, they like at the 4.5, 5 innings, and will just mess it up, and then it puts a strain on the bullpen. So I wouldn't be so quick to be just it's the Dodgers and everybody else. Yeah, the records might say that, but as it is, I mean, the Mets and Braves aren't too far behind them. And of course, hey, Atlanta does have the championship pedigree. So I'm liking what the Braves are bringing. That lineup is starting to come back. They'll get Ozzie Baez back coming up here soon. And their pitching staff is deep on the starting rotation in the bullpen. And that's where I give them the edge over the Mets, because after Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, it's a question for the Mets rotation in their bullpen. They could be hot or cold. So, to me, it's Braves and Dodgers or bust. That's how I'm looking at the National League.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you, but let's not forget about that Milwaukee Brewers team. They're not really playing well right now, but like I said, there's 3 seasons to every baseball season. So no, man.
Yeah, well, all right, Patrick. Let's move on over to the American League, and in here you have the New York Yankees, 64-28. They are sitting on top of the AL East by 13 games over Tampa Bay.
You hear my kids?
Yep, I hear them.
Hey, quiet down in there.
Minnesota, the Twins are up by 2 games over Cleveland, and the Chicago White Sox are lurking 3 back of them. And they actually won 3 out of 4 against Minnesota in the series going into the All-Star break. So maybe the White Sox starting to get hot, but as of now, Minnesota's still on top of that division. And then in the American League West, Houston, the Astros, they are up by 9 games over the Seattle Mariners. Now, the Seattle Mariners, they are interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, Seattle is interesting. Now, when you look at the wild cards, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and the Toronto Blue Jays are holding those 3 spots. But you have the Boston Red Sox, Cleveland Indians, and the Baltimore Orioles, all within 3.5 games of this spot. And the White Sox are also 3.5 back of the Blue Jays for that last spot. So the American League, to me, seems to be a little bit more up in the air than the National League. So, yeah, the Yankees, I know they're running away. But I'm going to go ahead and say this right now, Patrick. The New York Yankees, to me, are a bunch of frauds. I'm just going to say that now. Y'all can hold that against me whenever. I don't care, but I'm saying it. They're a bunch of frauds. They're regular season high. Their lineup is doing what they normally do, because I can point out many series where they'll have a game where they score 10 runs and then the next game they get no hit, because that happened in the series against the Houston Astros earlier this year. So they scored again against the Cleveland Guardians. I almost said Indians, but the Guardians. They scored 13 runs in a doubleheader, and then the next game or the next day they got shut out. The Yankees lineup is doing what they do. The big difference with them is
hit a home run or strikeout.
Exactly. The big difference with them is the starting pitching. Gary Cole, we know, is good, but Luis Severino has actually showed up. Nestor Cortez has been an absolute beast for them, and their bullpen has been very strong. I say they're frauds because I don't see that maintaining for the Yankees. I think Gary Cole can be good, but I think those other dudes are going to start crumbling, and once they get into a series with some of your better teams in there. Oh gosh, what happened?
What are you listening to?
Nothing, man. Oh goodness, I think I had
where their next meal will come from.
I don't know. I don't know where that sound is coming from.
Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
I think I had something up. I had something up, and then it played the commercial. I don't know, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Hey man, how many times did it happen to me?
Yeah, that is crazy. Sorry about that for those of y'all watching live. But yeah, I don't think the Yankees are going to maintain that. And with, like I said, that starting pitching, they've been pitching above their heads. The bullpen's been pitching above their heads, and I don't really see that consistency maintaining for them. The rest of the teams in that AL East with Toronto and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's always lurking. They just always find a way to hang around. And no matter what, Tampa Bay is going to be there some way, shape, or form. And then we mentioned the Seattle Mariners. These dudes have won 14 in a row, Patrick. That tells you how good the Houston Astros have been. If Seattle has won 14 in a row and they're still 9 back of Houston, I mean, it tells you how good the Astros have been this year, too. But, man, Seattle, and they have a rookie, Julio Rodriguez. That dude is going to be a beast if he continues.
Yeah.
The Mariners are actually down here to play the Rangers, and they swept the Rangers over there at Globe Life Field. And Julio Rodriguez hit a grand slam on Friday night on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. It was,
It was hanging though.
yeah,
It was hanging. I saw it. I was like,
yeah,
Music came out of his hand. I went, "Woo!"
yeah. He left it a little bit out there over the plate, and he was able to kind of extend the arms and drive it out to center field, deepest part of the ballpark. So
it was a bomb, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, Seattle, they're good. And I know I was going back. I didn't know if they would continue because, last year they were, a game out from the wild card spots?
Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they were real close last year. And it's like they caught some hot streaks. So, Seattle, them in Baltimore, because Baltimore won 10 in a row before they lost a couple to the Rays over the weekend. But who saw Baltimore being in the race, man? They got a lot of good young players on Baltimore.
Yeah, they're gonna be pretty good in a couple of years. But you gotta commend that AL East, man, because all 5 of those teams are 500 or better. I mean, I get where you're coming from with the Yankees, but I mean, you have to commend the Yankees on their starting pitching.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what's keeping them in the game. But I mean, here we are looking at it midway through. We're seeing what the Yankees do best. They are literally a 500 team. We have been talking about this for years. They have been. So if you look at their schedule, yes, they're 64 and 28. Probably one of the best starts I've seen in baseball in a very long time.
Yeah.
But if you go back for the past month, they're really not that crazy good of a team. They got out to a very, very, very hot start. I mean, I did pick them to win the AL East, but man, I didn't see this. This was crazy. But I do suspect that they're going to calm down tremendously. And everybody's like, I've heard a couple people, man, it's Yankees and the rest of baseball. Not really. You still got the Mets that's right there. You still got the Braves that's right there. And, even though Baltimore is, 18 games out, don't count them out to making a move. And let's be honest, like I said it again, I'll say it again. I said it before, I'll say it again. Here we are. There's 3 seasons to every baseball season. Settle in, because I don't think the Yankees are going to be 13 out or 13 ahead at the end of the second half. I'm just saying.
And then that's the main thing also, Patrick, and you mentioned coming up the trade deadline. The trade deadline is August 2nd, so that's 2 weeks from today. Some teams will start playing again on Thursday, and then everybody else will get started playing on Friday again for the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. When you look at some of these teams, all these teams that we discussed, particularly in the American League, because you have a lot of teams that are right there, and seeing how you do have that third wild card spot, because remember, it is, and I know you know this, but for everybody else who might not know, it's a 12-team playoff. So you have 3 wild cards. So that's going to make some things interesting for trades, potentially. What team out of this group, especially the ones who are right there in the wild card? So we're looking at the Red Sox, Guardians, Orioles, and White Sox. Which one of those teams, or maybe it is one of the other teams that are on top of the divisions and right now in the wild cards, which one of these teams do you see making a move to try to put them over the top?
Personally, I mean, I would probably have 2. I do have 2, and that'd be the White Sox and the Mariners. Mariners they're like you said, they're on a 14-game win streak, and they're going to want to keep that momentum. They are making strides on the Astros, and like you said, I mean, they're on a 14-game win streak, and they're still 9 behind. That is a testament to how good those Astros are. They're a really good team. They're going to maintain they're going to maintain what they're doing. So I don't think that they really see a problem with it, but I think the Mariners are going to be like, what is it that we need that can help us push us to get closer to them and maybe solidify that wild card spot? And then the White Sox, I think they're right there as well. They're probably, what do we got to do? We're 3 games behind. What do we got to do to win this division? I mean, I think the Mariners are looking for a I think between the two teams, you got two different outlooks. The Mariners looking for a wild card hunt, and you got the White Sox looking for a division title.
Yeah, and I think Seattle needs another bat. I think their pitching is pretty good throughout. Their bullpen is really good. But
that bullpen is the reason why they're 14 game win streak. They're good.
Yes. I think they need just another bat. If they can get another bat in the middle of the order somewhere. I mean, Seattle, they have the prospects. So I mean, they could trade a prospect or two without giving up some of their top ones, and maybe get a good solid bat in the middle. I think Seattle will be very dangerous if they're able to do that. The White Sox, I think they needed the same thing, and I know they got Tim Anderson in there, and is it Jose? Yeah, Jose Abreu in that lineup too. But I think they need another bat as well to try to get some momentum. The White Sox are also starting to get a little bit healthier now, and that's going to help them tremendously as we go down this stretch. Now, having said that, I did not see the Minnesota Twins being as good as they have been. Well, I definitely didn't see it from the Guardians. I know you had them. I know you have them winning the division. But the Guardians are right there, and I didn't see that from the Guardians.
I think I even have the Guardians as a wild card too.
I think you do. Yeah, so they have to go back and look at that. I went heavy on the AL East. I had, most
people will.
My other one though was the Angels.
Yeah. Look. Hey, we all have one. Remember, I picked Cincinnati.
Oh boy!
So I thought Cincinnati would be a lot better than way better than they were. And here we are. Here we are. We all have one. Don't worry about it.
All right, cool. So, Patrick, we'll keep an eye on things as we get closer to it, and I'm sure come a week or 2 weeks, when we get up to the trade deadline, we'll definitely get back on it to see what moves are made, see how these teams try to jockey for position. But now that you have that third wild card spot in each league, that's gonna make things really interesting. I that's one of the things I did like MLB added. So
yeah, I did too. Don't go crazy with the playoffs, but yeah, add that and fix that scrimmage.
I think this is perfect. I think 12 teams is perfect.
I wouldn't go any further than this. 12 teams, fix that scrimmage game. I'm good. I'm happy.
All right, Patrick. Well, man, let's get on the show, and we have this quarterback list. Now, every sports site out there put out a top 10 QB list in the NFL. For this particular topic, we're going to look into the ESPN list because apparently that is the one that is drawing a lot of criticism. And the main thing with it was it's kind of funny. All right, so they had Deshaun Watson in the list at number 9. And Deshaun Watson hasn't played. Right. Like he hasn't played in a full year. So I don't know about all that. But they have Justin Herbert at number 7, Russell Wilson at 8, and Dak Prescott at number 10. Now your top 5, according to this list, is Aaron Rodgers, and it's in this order.
Hold on.
What's up, Patrick?
Let's talk about those. Let's talk about the 6 through 10 first.
No, we're gonna get to it. Let me point it out real quick, and I'm just gonna read the list to you real quick before we get to it. So Aaron Rodgers, it was number 1. He's number 1, and then 2 is Patrick Mahomes, 3 is Josh Allen, 4 is Tom Brady, 5 is Joe Burrow, and then 6 through 10, the part that we're going to get on here, is Matthew Stafford. Justin Herbert is 7. Russell Wilson's 8. Deshaun Watson's 9. And Dak Prescott is 10. So I can see where people have problems.
Okay. So let's do this. The top 5, I actually agree with that top 5.
Mm-hmm.
The people, not the order. So for one, sorry, but Aaron Rodgers is not number 1, just not. I put him at 2 because Tom Brady is the best quarterback that we've seen. I mean, if we're looking, are we talking about like one game at a time like Madden does? Or are we talking about a full body of work here?
So that's the thing, Patrick, and that's the thing with these lists, because it could mean different things to different people, as you know. So the way I'm reading this list, it's not necessarily the Lifetime Achievement Award, because yes, obviously Tom Brady would be number 1 if that's the case. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like this is who they think is better right now at this current time in terms of what you see them doing this year. That's how I'm looking at this list. Okay. I'm not down with the order, but I think that's what they were trying to look at here.
By no means, but I do like the top 5. I like the people within it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not too big of a fan of the order. Plus, I would like to know what's on their mind, because if we're looking at best quarterbacks going into the season, I can see Aaron Rodgers, but I would have to put Joe Burrow a little higher than 5.
So who do you move out?
I would probably keep the same people. I'd just move them around. I do like those people.
Right. So those top 5, who do you move? Where would you put Joe Burrow on your top 5? Because he's number 5 on this list. So where do you put him?
Well, I mean, so we have to take into consideration what they did last year, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I'd probably go Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrows, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Josh Allen.
Okay, yep, I can see that. Coming off of last year, I got you. Does Matthew Stafford crack that? He's number 6 on this list.
Look, and don't get me wrong, Matthew Stafford, he's my dog, man. My dog, but no, he doesn't break the top 5. He doesn't break the top 5 because you have to look at what these quarterbacks are going to bring to the situation. Now, could he be? Absolutely. But what Joe Burrow has done in his career already, you have to give him a top 5, right? Josh Allen, probably the same thing. Tom Brady, he doesn't break the top 5 just because of pure goatness. He doesn't go out of that. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, like, if I was to drop anybody, unfortunately, it'd probably be Aaron Rodgers, and I'd move Matthew Stafford up. But, I mean, it's just Aaron Rodgers is such a he's such a good quarterback, and you can rely on him on a lot of things. And you always know with him in the game, you always have a chance. So, I mean, but if I drop anybody, it'd probably be Aaron Rodgers. And then also, he is getting older. And if I'm going to move somebody in there, it'd be Matthew Stafford, but he would be the one that I pull out. No offense to Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback. It's just where I would go.
Yeah, so a lot of people had an issue with this list because they are wondering where Lamar Jackson is on the list. And in this regard, I'm with them. I would definitely take Lamar Jackson over Dak Prescott. Yes, I would, without a doubt. Now,
yeah, I would too. So I would probably put Lamar Jackson up in the top 10.
Yeah, I put him above Deshaun Watson too.
Deshaun Watson's not even in the top 10. At last, until he can actually play a game. I don't know how anybody would say he's even the top 10. He can't even play. That's dumb.
So I was, and then okay. How do you feel about Russell Wilson? Is he that good?
Not anymore. Look, don't get me wrong. He's a great quarterback. He wouldn't be where he's at if he wasn't, right? But to put him in the top 10 again, like, unfortunately, he hasn't really done much. I mean, at least Aaron Rodgers has gotten you to the playoffs. I mean, Russell Wilson hasn't really achieved that in a long time.
So here's how I feel about Russell
Hey
Wilson.
man, hey, can you hold on just 1 second? I gotta send one of my kids home. Hey, hold on. Hey, Will. Sorry, I know we're live. Sorry. Hey, Will. Go ahead.
So with Russell Wilson, is how I feel about him. And so we know he does have a Super Bowl ring, and all right, I'll go ahead and talk. So he does have. I'll just talk to y'all. So he does have a Super Bowl ring, and he has another Super Bowl appearance back in 2013 and 2014. Since then, he has not gotten to he hasn't been past the divisional playoff round. So all right, so now that Patrick's back, so all I was saying is it's been a while since Russell Wilson has gotten past the divisional playoff. Mm-hmm. He made the Super Bowl, of course. One has a Super Bowl ring in 2013, and they got to the Super Bowl the year after. And ever since then, when they decided they were going to turn the offense over to him, hasn't been that great. It's been kind of a mixed bag, and they haven't been past the divisional playoffs since then. And the way I've always felt about Russ is he is a good quarterback. He has elite moments, but I just always kind of stopped short of putting him in the elite category. I just didn't see that in him, because to me, elite is when you get to a certain point, can you uplift them?
Can you make your team better?
Yeah, that's what it's about there. And I just don't know if Russell Wilson is that guy. Now, we'll find out a whole lot now that he is on the Denver Broncos. Denver seems to be ready to compete right now. They have a good defense, a lot of good skill position players at the receiver and running back positions. So Denver looks like they might be ready. To me, there's no excuses for Russell Wilson anymore. You got a good team around. Right. So it's time for you to make it work. But yeah, that's where a lot of people were upset, Patrick, because Lamar Jackson was not in the top 10. And I do believe Lamar Jackson should be at least in the top 10. I would take him over Dak Prescott. I would take him over Deshaun Watson right now. And it's
who was the other three in the top in the 6 through 10? Who was the other three?
It was Stafford. Yeah, Stafford was 6. Justin Herbert was 7. That's another one I'm questionable on.
I'm questionable about that one too. Who was it? Who was 8?
8 was Russell Wilson.
Okay, yeah. So 7 through 10, I'd probably drop out. Seriously, because there's too many questions. There's too many questions. First of all, Lamar Jackson, he's got to be in there. If we're just rating what we saw last year, and this is what we're saying, moving forward, and how, like you said, Russell Wilson, man, we got a lot to learn about him come next season when he's in that new uniform. But Lamar Jackson's got to be up there, man. He's got to be.
Yep. And so we got, let's see. I would put Lamar Jackson probably at 8 or 7 for sure. And I don't like say Justin Herbert. I think everybody's trying to speak it into existence that he's so great, but he's not yet.
Make
the playoffs first.
Win a game first.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, over Deshaun Watson, over who was 10?
10 was Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. Okay, Mac Jones. I'd take him over both of them.
I don't think Mac Jones is there yet, dude.
I don't think he's at 10 either. But it's just hypothetically, I'd take Mac Jones.
I'm not taking him over Dak Prescott. Look, I'm low on Dak Prescott, but I don't think Mac Jones is quite that good. They had a game where he threw 3 passes. I'm sorry. Like, that's got to say something, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd still take him over Dak Prescott.
Okay. But based off of what? I just want to hear your reason.
What is this list based off of?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, but you're the one who says that you're going to take Mac Jones over Dak Prescott. So I want to see why you want to.
Why would I? Well, truthfully, because he's younger than Dak and makes the same mistakes. And that tells me that Dak's not learning from his mistakes. Therefore, I'll take Mac Jones because he's younger over it. At least I can teach him. At least he's coachable. And at this point, Dak Prescott's not. So there, I'll take it for that.
That's actually a good reason. I hear you there.
I mean it jokingly, but at the same time, I was dead serious.
No, because I mean, with Mac Jones going into year 2, yes, there's probably some room for improvement there. Dak's been in the league since 2016, and it does seem like there's a plateau. There's a leveling off.
I really do think that he is, and Mac Jones and Dak Prescott is the same quarterback, and they're making the same exact mistakes today. So at least Mac Jones is coachable. But yeah, I mean, I would drop that 7 through 10 in a heartbeat. No, I wouldn't take any of them. Especially with the quarterbacks that's out there, man. You can find so many better quarterbacks to go 7 through 10.
Yeah, and like you said, with these lists, you never know the criteria. Like, I would have to look at the ESPN article or the television show to see who came up with this list, what they were looking at. You know, there's some other stat out there that they're looking at in terms of efficiency ratings or whatever the case. So I would like to see what their criteria is. Or is it a lifetime achievement award? Is it what do we project them to do? Whatever. I would like to see what that is. But just on the surface of this list, yeah, I can see where there's a lot of disagreement.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, that top 5, I like them. The top 6, I liked. I do like the top 6. Interchangeable, of course, depending on what we're looking at. But definitely like that. That 7 through 10.
Well, all right, Patrick, we got to move on. Got a few more topics to jump into. So let's start over here with Notre Dame. Now, I don't think this will be too much, except for I saw an article. This is according to CBS Sports. So Notre Dame is looking for, get this, Patrick, $75 million to remain independent. So basically what that is coming at is, so the NBC contract, which we had talked about last week, but the NBC contract, it brings in around $15 million per year. And I guess Notre Dame earns $22 million due to the backloaded nature of the contract. Now remember, that contract went into effect over 30 years ago, 1991. But they're looking for, huh?
So it's $37 million.
No. 22. Since it's backloaded. I guess this part is backloaded.
Okay, I got you. Yes.
But annually, if you were to do it, year by year, if you were to do it by the annual average, yeah, it would be 15 million. I guess like this year or year prior, it was 22 million since it was backloaded. But still, $75 million, and they're going to stay independent. Again, we talked about this last week. This is Notre Dame trying to eat from both sides of the pie. They want all this money, and they still want to stay independent. Again, Patrick, no one's worried about Notre Dame. I don't care what anybody wants to say. I don't care what anybody wants to put out here. People are going to look at them like, you're crazy. $75 million? So, can someone talk to the Notre Dame people? I want to know what they're thinking.
I know, because they can make more money in the ACC, without a doubt.
Yeah, I want to know who came up with this. Is this a misrepresentation? Is there something going on here? Is this somebody just trying to fish some stuff out? Now, granted, this is a CBS News article, or CBS Sports article, so I'm gonna say this is pretty legit if it's coming from them. I'm inclined to believe Notre Dame wants that. They really want that.
I don't understand. I mean, like, why would you not want to contend for a national championship? You're not going to get that where you're at. I mean, yeah, you have leaped in sometimes, But if you're not going up against steady competition, you're going to step in, you're going to play in Alabama, you're going to play at Georgia, you're going to play in Ohio State, you're going to play in Michigan, and you're going to get your butt handed to you. At what point do you go, you know what? I have got to move to the ACC. I've got to get the recruits that's going to let me contend with these teams on a consistent basis. I got to move, because $75 million is not going to cut it. Not when the national champion makes what, 23? So in the vicinity of 23 for the year. So Georgia, on top of that, all their ticket sales, on top of all the things that they have, on top of ESPN, on top of CBS or whichever station they play for at that time, Georgia cleared probably over $100 million last year. They had to. They had to.
75.
You want to stick in independent for $75 million? Okay, well, do whatever you want to, because like you said, nobody cares about you anyway. It's not like you're doing anything. So stay independent, stay over there, and us SEC, welcome to the SEC, Charles. This bump. Us SEC people will sit here and win national championships. So go suck it.
And see, and on that note, Patrick, because you at some point you have to win. You have to do something on the field of play to hold any type of relevance. And Notre Dame has not been that forever. Again, 1988 was the last time they won a national championship.
And Rudy was offside.
And so, yeah, he did get a good jump, by the way.
He was an offside jump, but yeah.
But it is just astounding. It's astounding to me that Notre Dame would ask for that amount of money to stay independent. That is crazy to me. And for a team that, again, has not been relevant. They haven't been relevant.
If they'd been relevant, it would be a different story. But oh wait, they would have been in the ACC if they were.
Yeah, and again, look, and they're playing half of their games in the ACC. And again, they are an ACC member in every other sport besides football.
No, they're in ACC in the aspect of in football. They are in the ACC. 8 of their games come probably from ACC.
Yeah, they played 5 or 6 games against ACC teams
every year.
And
so why don't you just join, add the extra one that it takes, and be okay with that?
So ridiculous, man. Let's get on with this topic here, Patrick. So this one is about Kevin Durant. Now, I wanted to bring this one up because in Yahoo Sports, so this one's actually kind of one of those live topics here, because I saw an article in Yahoo Sports where it was talking about the vulnerabilities of Kevin Durant, and the writer of the story had said that he wanted, or those vulnerabilities, he should be championed for showing those vulnerabilities. I'm not going to champion him for those. I would champion him. So here's the thing, Patrick. If he was actually coming out here, let's say he does have vulnerabilities, whatever those vulnerabilities are. If he is coming out talking about these vulnerabilities, if he's coming out and saying, hey, you know what? I don't know what the hell I want to do. All right, I just signed this extension with Brooklyn. 4 years, 198 million, whatever it is. And I feel like I got trapped in this extension. I just want to go somewhere else. And I don't know what I want, but I think I want a ring chase. Hey, if you're all over the place and you're expressing this, I commend you for that. But hey, if you're expressing those views, then I commend you for that, because you're admitting, hey, look, man, I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm a hot mess, and I'm trying to figure some things out. Instead, that's not what Kevin Durant does. Kevin Durant is burner accounts. He wants to go back at people. He wants to try to make people look stupid when they have an opinion that they're expressing. He tries to belittle people. You could go by. You could look at Twitter. Go ahead, people. I encourage y'all to look at Twitter. Y'all know he is out here trying to basically make people look stupid when they have some sort of view on how he's playing. He's ultra sensitive. So he's expressing the sensitivities, but he's trying to make it like none of the stuff bothers him, and whoever speaks on it is dumb and stuff like that. I can't champion that.
I don't champion that. We'll give the bravest woman award if we need to. I mean, if that's enough. I'm not championing him for. Look, it's hard for me to honestly, Charles. Let's be completely honest about it. It's hard for me to champion anybody.
Hey, Patrick, aren't you always being completely honest?
I try. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But I'm not championing anybody just because that's life. I don't understand why we're championing anybody because they're human. You know, I don't believe in giving somebody a Nobel Peace Prize for doing their job. Do your job, bro. I mean, do I want now? If you are in the head of your department or whatever, absolutely. Let's celebrate that as a team. You achieve something that is hard to achieve in your career. I get that. I would much rather give Kevin Durant more praise on achieving what many people don't get to do, and that's become an NBA star. That to me is celebrated. Just because you show vulnerabilities, that's not a celebration. That's life. I don't think you get you don't get championed because of a life thing. You admit that you're vulnerable. Now, Charles, we admit we're vulnerable on this show all the time. You know, we even point out. I'll point out your vulnerabilities sometimes. We'll point out mine. Well, let's get championed because we did what every human should do. Right? No. Let's celebrate your achievements, what you do on the court as a person, as you master your craft. Let's celebrate those achievements. I like doing that. Just because you show a vulnerability doesn't mean we champion you. No, it's not how it works. Let's celebrate your achievements through your life. I would much rather do that. You achieve a goal in your personal life. Fantastic. Let's celebrate it. If you want to say I have a goal to be vulnerable on the mic, then let's do that. Let's achieve the goal and then celebrate it. But I'm not championing you for it. Let's just celebrate it and then move on to life. That's what I mean.
So what I'll say about that, Patrick, is the stigma and the perception that is out there is if you are making millions and millions upon millions of dollars, you have generational wealth where you're going to take care of yourself, family, your kids, and your grandkids. That everything is good. Life is great. You don't have a worry in the world. And look, and here's the thing, Patrick, we might know that's the case. But a lot of people just think you can just take all of those worries away with money. That's not the case. And so, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes when you have this generational wealth. Now, look, I don't know. I haven't had generational wealth. Maybe
we're trying to get there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that money will fix.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I would much rather be a millionaire because you know what's going to make me happy? A jet ski. A jet ski would make me very happy.
But with that perception that's out there, it does kind of say something if a person, especially someone who has made as much money and is making as much money as Kevin Durant, does speak up on these vulnerabilities that he has. I always say this about it, Patrick. People, we're not different. We're all that different. The only thing that makes us different is whatever social status or the amount of money that's being made. But all of those emotions that people go through, they all go through them. Like if there's any type of scandal or any type of dirt in the closet, they all got dirt.
Yeah.
So
we all put our pants on one leg at a time. We all wear underwear. And you don't want to. You want a free ball. Hey, cool. And guess what? When we're all old, guess what? We're gonna piss our pants.
So
it happens. I mean, you know, but like you say, yeah, it all it changes us is your social status.
And that's the only thing with it, man. Like I'm with you on everything else. I'm just saying, when people, if someone is at that stature and they're able to speak on those vulnerabilities, if they're able to admit, man, there's demons that I have, I'm chasing this ghost, I'm chasing that ghost, or whatnot, I think people would relate more to that than what Kevin Durant does, which is get burner accounts and try to clap back on everybody.
Yeah, and try to clap back on everything that he has a weakness on, and instead of letting his weakness be known, he's afraid that it's going to be exploited. Is the fact that, you know, look, I have a weakness. Look at my head, bald. But at the same time, dude, don't get me wrong. I wish alopecia would hit me hard. I think that's a gift from God. I don't like hair, so I'm good with it. You know what I mean? But we all have weaknesses. We all have skeletons in our closet. We all have vulnerabilities, and they shouldn't be something that is made fun of. Maybe made fun of amongst friends. Like I will make fun of your weaknesses because I'm under the full expectation you'll do the same to me. But that's what friends do. That's what we do when we're cool like that. Like, I'm not trying to rush out to people I don't know and make fun of them. It's just not who I am. It's not what I'm going to try to do. You know what I mean? I will make jokes. I will, you know, have fun with brand new people. But as we get to know each other, you'll know the jokes get a little harder every time. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, everybody has it. Just admit that you have them and roll on with it. It's not that big of a deal.
All right, Patrick. Well, let's bring LIV Golf back into the news. And this one is actually pretty big because we know they have loads and loads of money. And apparently they have Charles Barkley on the radar to come over there and try to commentate. So there's a possibility Charles Barkley would have to leave inside the NBA on TNT to do this. Now, there hasn't been any details, and Charles Barkley has acknowledged he will talk to them to see what they're talking about. So there's nothing set in stone, but there is a possibility he's gonna be a commentator for LIV Golf. And you know, if he is a commentator for that, you can only imagine the contract. That's definitely different. It's probably a 9-figure contract to get Barkley, one of the biggest personalities there is out there. Wow. So LIV Golf is coming, man. They want they want status.
Don't be surprised if Shaq doesn't join them.
You know?
Jokingly get serious, because those two together, they would love to have the commentary of those two together. Force them to sit beside each other instead of having two people between them. Oh man, they'll probably fight. Maybe he won't go. Never mind. They'll be fighting.
But you know, LIV Golf. Oh, by the way, Patrick, LIV Golf. You remember we were like, what does LIV even mean? It's the Roman numeral 54.
Okay, so why?
54 holes that they play.
Ah,
yeah. Yeah, so that's why,
dude, I like it.
That's I said, oh yeah. Like I heard that the other day, and I said, oh yeah, that is the Roman numeral for 54. And they do play 54 holes of golf. It's a three-day tournaments they do, and yeah, you win the 54 holes and you get like whatever, $5 million.
That's a payout. Hey, I like it. I mean, if that's what it stands for, I like it. That's sick. I like it.
But make no mistake about it, they are coming. And Barkley, you know Barkley. Barkley is one of the few commentators out there that can speak his mind. He can do it in a way where you're thinking, man, maybe this is a little bit offensive. But you know what? Barkley said it. It's funny, so I'll take it. But he done said, hey, he's not hiding anything about this. He said, LIV hit him up to see what it's about. He said he's going to talk to them, and we will see what comes out of the talks. And you know, LIV is going to throw a lot of money. Now, Barkley's well off. I mean, Barkley's not necessarily hurting for money, but I mean, LIV, you know, they're going to throw this
15, 20 figures at him. Yeah.
Yeah, right. For that personality, oh yeah, LIV is ponying up. The bread truck is probably right there at Barkley's feet right now.
And all there is dollar signs on it saying, that's it. Well, what's that bread bucket? That's your payout. Just let me know if you're going to sign the contract or not.
Right.
Bro, if I saw a bread man, I'd be like,
where y'all want?
you're ready to sign.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to talk about negotiations? I'm thinking about me a jet ski.
And you and jet skis today. And so one thing we have to wonder is, so if he does decide to go to LIV Golf and commentate, would it complicate his duties with TNT? Would he just leave altogether? How would TNT play that? Because this is a Saudi-backed league. We know their record, their pretty atrocious record on human rights violations, which is definitely a hotbed point for a lot of people. And so there's a lot of questions that would have to be answered there. I can't picture inside the NBA without Charles Barkley. I can't do it.
That'd be hard.
That'd be hard. I mean, wow. And Barkley has said he doesn't see himself doing inside the NBA forever. But man, if this is the way he leaves, I think that would be kind of a punch.
It would be hard. It would be hard to watch him leave on these type of terms.
Yes.
Right. Fully understanding why he done it. That's not the problem. Not why, but because. And it would kind of be more. It would kind of be more like you would almost want him to retire first. They retired for a year and then do the golf. You know what I mean? But I mean, look. We've always said, hey man, go get your money. Go get your money. It don't matter. Go get your money. But man, that would be hard. It'd be hard to tune into inside the NBA and him not be there. And then who fills those shoes? Nick Wright? Oh my God, I punch inside the NBA in the face. No,
I don't think we have the way.
I think he needs to retire. Truthfully, I don't see anybody filling those shoes like that. Actually, I do see two people.
Yeah, there we go.
Right here. Hey, inside the NBA, let him go.
Yeah.
Right here. You get both of us for the same price.
Yeah. So Patrick, before we get out, man, now I'm pretty sure these dudes have been in the STFU Club before, but we gotta put some people in this club here if they haven't been already. We're gonna put the whole Lakers team and the report in the STFU Club. And here's
the Lakers team has been in there twice, I think.
I know, man. So I mean, we could probably slap some.
But they're new members, so
we'll probably slap some helmet stickers on there just to kind of keep.
Yeah, probably.
But here's why, man. So Yahoo Sports, and I'm kind of mad at Yahoo Sports and Chris Haynes for even reporting this, because I'm just wondering where the news factor is here. And Chris Haynes is actually a pretty good reporter, but I'm like, dude, really? But this is what he reported. Big three, quote unquote, of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook had a phone conversation or a video conversation to get on the same page going into next season. I wanted to throw up in my mouth when I saw this. Number one, again, grown men, Patrick. Grown men. We can't be face to face. We're playing on the same team, right? We can't be
in the same neighborhood. Why?
Yeah,
What?
Come on. And Chris Haynes, come on, man. Why this report? Why is this news?
It's not. They live in the same neighborhood. Why you video conference?
Yeah, right. Grown men, Patrick, and we gotta have video conferences or telephone conferences, whatever it was.
And before anybody says anything, we are grown men. Y'all have video. Charles is in Dallas. I'm in Florida. Big difference. We're not in the same neighborhood. They probably are literally neighbors. LeBron James lives in the middle. 1 block away, because that's how close the houses are, is 1 block away because they got that much property. There's Russell Westbrook.
And Patrick, before we wrap up, let's just understand, none of these conversations are going to matter. That team is still going to be garbage. They still have a terrible roster around them. The team is not good. And I know people are going to try to hang on. Oh, well, they still got LeBron. That's not enough anymore in this league of full of teams that are just good, solid teams now. That's not, no one cares.
And then on top of that, Charles, I don't know what a video conference is going to matter. They're all on the same page. They're all going to lose. You're trying to achieve something that is already there.
Patrick, that's a walk-off. That is a walk-off home run, and we will leave on that note.
I'm going to do my bat calls and everything.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Y'all make sure, I'm sure y'all saw it on the banner, but make sure y'all go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. All-Star game is going on right now, and NFL training camps are starting this week. So it won't be long before we're talking about some preseason picks and getting our college picks in there as well. So it's right there around the corner. Football season is about to be back. Until then,
you just freeze up, dude. Until then, enjoy the baseball that we have for the rest of the season, and we'll see y'all next time. Charles, you still got to close out.
Everybody enjoy the baseball.